Sacramento Zoo. Checking out some cute little critters. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to all of our Facebook Lives. Facebook Lives are sponsored by Jiffy Lube of Greater Sacramento, and we are so grateful to Jiffy Lube for their support. And if you too are interested in supporting the Sacramento Zoo, feel free to visit our website, saczoo.org, and you can learn more about the Emergency Relief Fund. And also, we are open, so definitely check out our website for more information on reserving your tickets to come on out to the zoo. We are so excited to see you guys. We're really looking forward to your visit. So today we are here with some pretty cool animals and a pretty cool keeper. So hello, introduce yourself.
Good morning, my name's Riley, and we're here hanging out with a couple California natives. These are our California tiger salamanders, and they're a large species of amphibian, one of the larger of the salamanders. They get nice and big, and they're found in sort of the Central Valley in Central California, down into some of the highlands in Santa Barbara, all the way up to Sonoma County. And these guys really do well in high elevations, cool climates, anywhere where there's shallow pools, vernal pools, little streams, freshwater streams and things. They're excellent swimmers, and pools are essential for these sensitive little critters. They have very porous and slimy-like skin, so the water helps keep them hydrated. And in fact, that's where they breed and have little baby salamanders. So the vernal pools and the natural springs are very important for these endangered salamanders.
Awesome. Well, if you guys have any questions about our salamanders, feel free to leave them in our comments section. And Elizabeth, it was so great to have you come out to the zoo. Thank you so much for visiting. And yes, Amanda mentioned she was at the zoo yesterday. Our reptile house is closed, so this is a special Facebook Live, so you guys can kind of see some of our reptiles and amphibians, and to see how they're doing. But again, our reptile house is closed for right now, but the rest of the zoo is open. Definitely check out our website, saczoo.org, to learn more about reserving your ticket to come on out and visit the zoo. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. So cute.
So this might look a little bit different back here. This is a California newt. This is a completely different species, but they occupy the same habitat, same environment, and they make excellent little roommates around here. So they're great companions and friends that show just exactly how these different animals can live in the same environment together.
Very cool. Brooklyn, age 5, would like to know why they have long tails.
Those long tails are actually perfect for swimming. So they're very vertical and paddle-like, and that allows them to use them like a rudder as they're swimming through the rivers and streams. So they're just as adept at moving on land as they are in the water. In fact, they do spend quite a bit of time on land, but it's always near water. And these guys start out as aquatic little larvae, similar to what tadpoles and frog metamorphosis is. These guys lay their eggs in the water, and they spawn out in the water before they make the emergence, grow legs, and come on land. So they start out as an aquatic organism and then move to a rather amphibious life.
Very cool. Elizabeth wants to know what the life expectancy is of salamanders and newts.
Salamanders and newts can actually surprise you and live into their late teens and early 20s, especially if they're kept appropriately and are fed sparingly. These guys don't need to eat every day, although they have the appetites to accommodate all the food they can handle. But if they're allowed to have cool climate, nice fresh water, and appropriate food, they can certainly live quite a long time.
Very cool. Caleb, age 6, would like to know why they have such small feet. Look at those little feet.
They are pretty cute. Yeah, so they do have little feet. They, for their body size, they're just the right size. They're pretty good at climbing and moving and digging around, but yeah, they do have cute little toes and feet, don't they?
Yeah. Great question, Caleb.
Now, if anyone's ever out in their native wildlife and they do come across a freshwater stream with anything like a newt or a salamander, definitely enjoy them with your eyes, but these animals are not ones to pick up. They're not going to harm you in any way. but you don't want to harm them. They have very sensitive and porous skin. So I'm wearing gloves right now because I don't want to transfer any of the oils from my hand to them or any potential bacteria that I might be holding. So with all of our amphibians, we wear protective equipment like gloves to keep our animals safe. On top of that, these animals do have some mucus and especially newts here that can be quite toxic if threatened and eaten. So you really don't want to hold them, because if you were to get some of these secretions on your hands and maybe rub your eyes or eat a sandwich without washing your hands, it can make you pretty sick.
Very good. Good to know. Alaska, age 6, wants to know if these two kinds are related to each other, so if the newt and salamanders are related.
They're loosely related. I mean, as you can see, body-wise, they're pretty similar, although the texture, size, color is a little bit different. They're all kind of in the same family. Although salamanders and newts are distinct enough to be different, they're like cousins.
Very nice.
And the nice thing about seeing these guys in your native wetlands and wildlife is they're so sensitive to everything in the environment. So if you see these guys around, that's a good sign of a healthy ecosystem. Amphibians tend to be the indicator species for their habitats. They'll tell you if a habitat is healthy and balanced with good predator-prey, clean environments, good water, and everything's running smoothly when you have these guys around.
Yeah, that's great. So Marla wants to know what their favorite foods are.
These guys love crickets. They come scrambling over to the door when I come to check on them and clean them in hopes that they'll get a couple crickets. And sometimes they get so excited they start hopping all over the place, jumping for bugs. They are wonderful.
That sounds so cute. And Chloe is wondering what they eat. So besides crickets, what else would a salamander or newt be eating?
These guys will eat just about any little bugs they can get. Typically stuff that isn't too hard shelled. So worms, night crawlers, slugs, small crickets and bugs would all be on the menu for these little guys.
Very good. We got a question coming in wondering if they could be found in California.
Yeah, so there are a couple different types of salamanders. In the tiger salamanders in particular, there's an eastern form in the eastern part of the United States, and then these guys are actually California natives, and they're an endangered species in California. And you can find them kind of in the Central Valley along lots of streams and waterways in some of the grassy plains and tributaries. So they are one of the coolest California natives.
Very cool. We love that. Michelle is wondering, well, we may have a few questions about this. So the difference between a reptile and an amphibian.
So amphibians are not too different other than they have two different life stages. The term amphibian refers to their dual life. So they start out as aquatic larvae in the water and metamorphose into semi-aquatic, semi-terrestrial animals. So it has a lot to do with how they are born, reproduce, and grow into their adult stage, whereas reptiles, they don't really go through that metamorphosis in the same way. They will start small and maybe change colors as they age, but otherwise amphibians have an entirely different trajectory in life.
Awesome. Super cool. These guys are very cute, yes. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning into our Facebook Live here at the Sacramento Zoo. It is sponsored by Jiffy Lube of Greater Sacramento. We are so grateful to their support, and if you too are interested in supporting the zoo, feel free to visit saczoo.org. And you can learn more about our emergency relief fund, and you can also learn more about reserving your ticket to come on out and visit the zoo. We are so looking forward to seeing everybody. Rosalie, age 6, is wondering if they have any names.
Yeah, so right here, the California newt, he is called Bruni by some of our keepers here. We also refer to him as Isaac Newton at times when we're feeling cheeky.
Nice.
But these two boys here, this is Phil, and this is Herbert.
Very nice. Hello.
They're very cute.
They are so cute. So we've got a question coming in wondering how big do they get full grown?
So California tiger salamanders, including their tail, can get about 8 inches or so. And this is a really good representation of their adult size right here. This is an adult male. He's a big boy.
So what size would a female be?
A female would be a little bit smaller, but she would, during the breeding season, put on a lot of weight in order to help produce healthy babies. So certain times of the year, you'll notice the males are more active looking for females out in the native habitat, and females will be stockpiling resources. But otherwise, they aren't too different.
Another question coming in. So Sarah is wondering where most of these salamanders are found.
So a lot of the foothills and streams in like Sonora Valley, Sonoma, down as far south as the hills in Santa Barbara, and kind of anywhere in between in Central California. They're not quite coastal, but a lot of the Sierra Nevada ranges and coastal mountain ranges have little valleys and streams that go right through some of the lower areas, and they provide great shelter and habitat for these guys.
Very good. Jade, age 4, wants to know what they drink.
Well, they spend all their time drinking nothing but good, clean, cold water. So in their exhibit here, they have a nice filter running for a small stream, and they absorb water through their skin more often than not. So they're not necessarily going down and having a drink deliberately like we would, but they're constantly staying hydrated through nice, clean, pure water.
Good, it's a good question. So you talked a little bit about vernal pools. Can you talk about the importance of vernal pools and what we can do to kind of help this endangered species?
Absolutely. So one of the easiest things you can do is when you're out in nature and wildlife is leaving everything you be, or everything you see be, not picking up the animals, picking up trash, taking care of our water systems. One of the biggest problems for these guys is habitat fragmentation. So that means there's little pockets of isolated populations where they're still found. And so these little areas need to be protected. So if you do come across areas where you find newts and salamanders, definitely just do your best to be a good steward of that environment. Keep things clean, keep animals on leash, don't go into the streams, and just, enjoy everything through your eyes and just watching it and let it all be, and spread that information and awareness to your friends and family around there, and be conscientious of water use, recycling, and anything like that has a huge difference on our local waterways.
That's great. Good information. Casey's wondering if they run fast.
They can get going. They're really good at getting away from you like they're doing right now. Come here, little guy. Yeah, they're quick when they want to be, and they're also slippery when they want to be. So if they get wet, they're really slick. But they can also extrude a mucus that makes it hard for a predator to get hold of them. So if they get running and something gets grabbing them, it's really difficult to take these guys. And if they slip into the waters, they'll just disappear. They're very good at evading predators.
They look like they've got pretty good camouflage.
Yeah, so part of the name tiger salamander has to do with these yellowish bands that they'll get, and it varies from individual to individual, but they get a lot of striping on their sides, so they got that name tiger salamander through that, and they blend in very well with the shadows and the dark coloration of rocks and grasses where they're found.
Awesome. Well, again, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in our comments section. If you're just tuning in, we are here live at the Sacramento Zoo, checking out some cute little tiger salamanders and learning all about them. Very fun. So what, Riley, is one of your favorite things about working with tiger salamanders?
Their cute little face.
Well, yeah, that's pretty cute.
How could you not love that adorable little face?
Yeah, look at that.
They're really cute. They're also a lot of fun to take care of. They're very easy for us to take care of. We have a nice cold room here that stays for the perfect climate for them. So they're just really, really easy, low-maintenance animals for us to take care of here at the zoo. And so, therefore, we get to spend a little bit of time enjoying them and feeding them their favorite snacks and just taking care of their environment. And it's very rewarding to see them kind of use this space as they would in the wild, go swimming and go burrowing and come out for food and interact with one another. So they're just a wonderful little species to have around.
Very cool. Got a question about whether or not they can shed their tails like lizards.
They can drop their tails or take a bite and lose chunks of it, but they don't regenerate it in the same way that a lot of lizards and geckos do through autotomy. But it's a pretty long tail, and if a predator were to take a bite out of it, It really wouldn't impede their ability to get around and swim, but they do not regenerate their tail like a lot of other animals do. But because they're amphibians, they're pretty tough, and their cells regrow pretty fast as is.
Cool. Jade, age 4, wants to know what they do all day.
These guys are actually pretty active all day. I'll find them cruising around, taking a swim, burrowing through the moss, looking for extra bugs that I may have let loose in here. I've even found them climbing up some of the plants around here. So they're pretty active and curious little guys that make use of every inch of their environment.
Very nice. How big are their eyes? Do other salamanders look different than tiger salamanders?
Yeah, there are some that have really large eyes for excellent vision in finding bugs. There are some that spend most of their time almost exclusively underground and therefore have really, really small eyes. These guys, I would say, have pretty big expression-filled eyes as far as salamanders go, but these are just naturally large salamanders. But their eyes are maybe smaller than a green pea.
Great question, guys. So do they have good vision?
Yeah, these guys are pretty good at hunting down food, so they'll see a bug, they'll key in on the movement, and they'll go chase them down. They're really good at observing what's going on, and that's crucial for their survival. Being such tiny little sensitive animals in the environment, they have to watch out for all sorts of hawks and birds and snakes and bobcats and other things like that, maybe even the occasional turtle, but mostly birds of prey. So they do have to be able to watch out for food and predators.
Very cool. Well, guys, we'll take a few more questions. If you have any, feel free to leave them in our comment section. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are enjoying these Facebook Lives with you guys. And again, we are open. So visit our website, saczoo.org. You can learn more about reserving your tickets. You can also learn more about our emergency relief fund. Very cool. All right, any parting words about salamanders, Riley? Anything you really want us to know?
Salamanders deserve as much respect and attention and protection as every other animal out there. And in fact, if you protect habitat where you have salamanders like this, you're inadvertently helping protect a lot of the native birds and other wildlife in the area. So taking care of our little friends like this means taking care of everybody. So if you want to have a great impact in any sort of conservation and education, if you take care of little guys like this, you'll also take care of everything else in the food web and the environment.
Awesome, that was great. And one really great question that kind of goes into something we were talking about earlier about what to do if you see these animals out in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody was wondering, why do you have to wear gloves? Maybe we can kind of go over that again.
Yeah, so
the importance of leaving things.
Absolutely. So these guys have very, very sensitive skin. And amphibians, frogs, salamanders, newts, they absorb a lot that is in their environment through their skin. They have very porous skin. So if a waterway is polluted, these animals can have all sorts of health issues and basically show that something's wrong. So if my hands aren't clean and I hold one of these animals, he could potentially contract whatever bacteria is on my hands, and that could really make him sick. So out of respect for him and trying to do my best to keep him healthy, I'm either completely hands-off or I use gloves. Now in the wild, it's the same for wild individuals. They have very sensitive skin, and they're not used to the type of oils on our hands and the bacteria that we carry. So they can get sick very easily just from picking something up like this. So not that it's a danger to you, but it's actually a danger to them to handle them. So the best thing to do in the wild is enjoy them, enjoy their presence, but leave them be. They really don't like being picked up. These animals know that we bring them food, so they tolerate my presence, but as you can see, he has to take breaks here. He's been trying to get away from me. They really don't enjoy being held, but they tolerate it, and in the wild, those animals think we're a big predator, so leaving them alone is the best thing for them, for their skin, and it's just a good way to respect the environment around you.
All right. Thank you so much, little salamanders and Newt,
Yep.
for hanging out with us today.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for checking out our Facebook Live. So grateful to Jiffy Lube of Greater Sacramento for sponsoring our Facebook Lives. It is great to have their support. And And again, visit our website, saczoo.org, and learn more about reserving a ticket to come on out to the zoo, as well as learning about our emergency relief fund. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much, Riley.
Thank you. See you soon.